them at 810-227-6000. You might want to make reservations because sometimes it gets a little busy. And they also do some live music. They do brunches on Sunday. Starting next week, on Thursday, they have the open patio band. Yep. It is awesome.
Hey, tell them we sent you. Tell them we sent you, too. Tell them the Drift sent you. Tell them Current sent you.
Yep. CurrentOnline.com. There's a great big ad in the paper, and you've got some coupons for the brunch and $15 off any 4 dinner entrees, which is a lot.
Take advantage.
Yeah, take advantage of that. So check it out, 810-227-6000, or you can go to burrows-roadhouse.com. Tell Jim that you heard it here on The Drift or in currentonline.com.
It's a destination. Make it your destination.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, let's take a quick call from Joe in Wyandotte. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Good. Hey, and I was just thinking of you because if you want to email me, Gary at thedailydrift.com, I'm looking at an email from you. You've got something coming up on June 8th. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, it's the Taylor Republican Club out of the city of Taylor, obviously. And
what a coincidence.
Yeah. They meet on the second Fridays of every month at the Denny's on Eureka and Taylor at 6 o'clock. But June will be the month that they always have their picnic. And I just thought I'd invite you guys out as my guests for that. And,
well, thank you. Yeah, and that's at the Ford Senior Pavilion, which is 6750 Troy, off of Ecorse Road near Telegraph there.
Yeah, there'll be hamburgers and hot dogs and potato chips and potato salad and, cupcakes and whatever, all that good stuff to pig out on.
Okay, good. Yeah. Anything else, Joe?
I was calling about the farm bill.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, I'm kind of torn on because I normally will side with the Freedom Caucus, and I appreciate them trying to pull Ryan to the right and get some things done. They kind of held up the farm bill on immigration issues, and what worries me is while they ended up getting this farm bill voted down in the House, what will probably happen is the Stab-You-Now bill in the Senate, which won't have any of the welfare reforms or subsidy cuts in it, will end up getting passed and signed.
Yeah, it's aggravating. Once again, the Republicans spend so much time infighting, and I think part of it is a weak. Say what you want about Paul Ryan. I'm glad he's leaving, frankly. I don't think he's been a good speaker. He's done some good things. He's done some things that I don't think are so good. He's not my favorite guy, and I'm frankly happy to see him leaving, and I'm hoping we're going to get a better speaker next time around here. But you're right, and this goes back to what our earlier conversation, too. The Republicans are not performing. For crying out loud, folks, you've got the House, you've got the Senate, you've got the presidency. Republicans should be making huge progress, and yet they spend so much time infighting, which is completely different from the Democrats. The Democrats lock arms and never fight when they've got control because they push. But Republicans, and maybe that's part of our strength, part of our weakness, right? We've got a more diverse party than the Democrats, obviously. But man, things like this, you need to get done. The wall, build it, get rid of some of those farm bill subsidies, man. I was listening to Gruber earlier this week, and I've said it for years. Why are we subsidizing a lot of these things for farmers, like the sugar bill, right? Why are we subsidizing a bunch of farmers for sugar? That stuff just drives me insane.
Yeah, well, like you said, the Democrats vote in lockstep. They did, of course, against the Farm Bill because, of course, they want the pork-laden Senate version.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it is. It's a special interest. Anything else, Joe?
No, that was it.
All right, my man. We'll stay in touch with us, and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Take care, my friends. Love you.
Thank you, Joe. Love you, too. See ya. Let's take a call from Walter in Belleville. Walter, welcome to the show.
All right, man. Get ready.
Go ahead,
I was
man.
born ready. Come on, man.
All right, that's T.D. Snake. I changed his name from T.D. Jakes to T.D. Snake when he endorsed Obama. Okay, now, a rebuttal to Ken, much as I love Ken, his comments, great comments, every time he called in. I have to say, there's a saying, and Ed knows it, maybe you know it too, Gary. It's called, you can be so earthly minded that you ain't no heavenly good, or you can be so heavenly minded that you ain't no earthly good.
Yeah, well,
when it comes to politics.
Yeah. And I think I know where you're going, but go ahead, keep going.
Proverbs 29:2. Why Christians should be involved in politics and making a change. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked man rules, the people groan. Did we do a lot of that when Ali Obama was the president? We did a lot of moaning and groaning, complaining, and everything else.
Yeah. And just because we've got Trump and the Republicans in charge, now is not the time to sit back and say, I'm not going to support them because they're not exactly what I want. They're not doing exactly what I support. This is the time to double down our efforts in 2018 and try and go for 60 votes in the Senate and maintain or enlarge our lead in the House, because you know what? The Democrats will take us right back, and they can reverse everything we've done in the last 18 months. So people get out there, and if you're a Christian and you're not happy with Trump or you're not happy with the Republicans, then doggone it, push somebody in the primary that's more suited to you. But don't give up. And after the primary is over with, you support the guy that's in the Republican position, because you know what? He may not be exactly what you want, but he's far better than any alternative you're going to get from the Democrats. Yeah. So don't sit back on your haunches and wait and say, he's not exactly what I want. You take the best you can get at the time and you vote for him, and try harder next time to replace him with somebody else in the primary.
These are the same people. Great statement, Gary. These are the same people with that mentality. Even though he probably wouldn't have been the greatest Republican president if he had won.
Yeah.
These are the same people, and I call some of them first-class hypocrites. They stayed at home, did not vote for Mitt Romney because he was a Mormon, and I guarantee you, if they had an employer, a supervisor who wrote their checks, they would have worked for them. There's hypocrites in every bunch. There's hypocrites when you go to the grocery stores, just checking you out. You're not going to go to that grocery store because this person is a Mormon. You don't know who's who.
Yeah.
So these are the same people who didn't vote for Mitt Romney, who would have been a lot better than Obama. They stayed at home, complained, well, he's a Mormon. Some of these people, they were no more religious than Mitt Romney, where I see some of these Christians, they're big hypocrites.
Yeah. Well, great.
Okay. And when the evil evil continues to prevail when the good people sit on a duff and do nothing.
Yep. Well, great comments, Walter. We got Pat Colbeck calling in on the next line here. So thanks for the call, and we'll talk to you again.
I'm out.
Take care.
See you, Walter.
All right, let's take a call from Pat Colbeck, running for governor. Hey, Pat, how are you?
Hey, great to be with you guys. Sorry, I just got off the Capitol steps. We were talking about March for Our Rights today, and just making sure everybody respects those fundamental rights, such as our Second Amendment rights and our First Amendment rights, and frankly, all those rights that the government hasn't been granted by we the people. So it's great to see everybody out there asserting them.
Yeah, so you had a good turnout today?
Yeah, it wasn't great turnout. I mean, we had showers essentially right up until 1 o'clock was when it was supposed to start. But, God is good. Right at 1 o'clock, all of a sudden it stopped raining, and we got a chance to get out there. So people have been drifting in. Pardon the promo there. But drifting in ever since the rain stopped. And
so I'll take that. I'll take that as God's giving you an endorsement.
Yeah, I'll take it. He definitely helps us out more than we deserve. So.
So what are you doing tonight, sir? I was thinking we should get together tonight. Are you busy?
Today's kind of a crazy day. Actually, I started out today talking to the Michigan Association of Government Employees, where I was the first Republican gubernatorial candidate in over 38 years to actually address all of the state employee unions. And we talked about issues like right to work and defined benefits, and it was a great event. I actually had people following me out afterwards saying that they wanted to volunteer for my campaign. They said, I'm actually a Democrat, but I appreciate your straight talk and the fact that, you don't do the usual political, speak. And so it was really refreshing, actually. And I just got off the March for Rights discussion in Lansing. Now we're heading out to a Trump rally out in Grand Rapids. And then tonight we come out to Livonia, which, David Barton is going to be there. And there's still tickets available out at the Livonia Victory Center at 7 Mile and Farmington. And the event starts at 7. If you get there at 6:30, that's great. But David Barton is a fountain of knowledge on our America's founding fathers and the principles upon which we're founded. and he's actually at least partially responsible for me getting involved in politics. I watched a documentary called America's Godly Heritage that originally, that's the first thing that got me interested in politics, and so David's a little bit to blame there.
I watched him do a presentation at Imagine Theater in Canton, I think a couple of years ago, for the guy who was running for representative. Exactly, thank you. The name was escaping me. And it was very, very interesting, and I'm looking forward to, I'll see you there tonight. Yeah, my wife and I made reservations, and I encourage anybody else who's listening still, there is still time to get in. If you want to contribute $50 per person to the Colbeck campaign, this is a great way to do it because you get something cool out of it like this, you know?
Yeah.
So
actually, we'll be talking about my book a little bit there as well. So I don't know if you've had a chance to read it yet. We're going to have for your listeners that want a free download of my book, it's going to be available next weekend. And I don't know if we've talked about it yet, but it's called Wrestling Gators, Outsider's Guide to Draining the Swamp, and it talks about how government really works on the inside.
Oh, that'll be a good one, Pat. We'll have to download that.
You're going out to Grand Rapids now and then heading back by tonight?
Yep, welcome to a statewide gubernatorial race.
Right. So Pat, talk to us a little bit about your internal.
I'm actually going to Bay City before that.
Yeah. What's your internal polling telling you, Pat? Because I just don't see the support for Schuette that should be putting him in the lead based on these other polls we're seeing. I don't think the name recognition I don't think matters for Schuette. I just don't see him as the front runner. I don't.
No, I don't either. And we've seen straw poll after straw poll. I mean, these are where we've actually seen 75% or more of the vote going to us, and that's the last 4 official straw polls, plus the last 2 major events where they've had a debate watch party. Almost 100% of the people watching it, the vote goes to us. And really, for us, it's just a battle of name recognition.
Yeah.
The more people recognize what we've been doing, what we plan on doing as next governor, it's a no-brainer because just like today, talking to the government employees, they appreciate the straight talk. They appreciate somebody that is trying to do the right thing, that's prioritizing their best interests, and I like our trajectory. We've got a very, very good chance of winning this, and frankly, we're the only ones that can win it in the general election. There's no enthusiasm for any of the other candidates on the Republican side of the ticket. The only way we're going to win is by getting people out to vote in the general election, and we've got the enthusiasm for our campaign. We're the only ones who got on the ballot with complete volunteer effort for our
and that's huge.
Signatures. And we are, they can't keep signs in stock. I mean, we're going through
That's why I can't get one.
Thousands of yard signs. So it's a very good sign. And we got to break this cycle where we have 8 years of a Republican governor followed by 8 years of a Democrat. And I think we're the only campaign that's going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Hey, so let me ask you: Have you guys reached out to like the Hannity, the Laura Ingraham, the Tucker? You know what I mean? Because that's where you're going to get so much name recognition from Republicans for that primary. Because if they see you, and I see other candidates advertising on Fox, I'm thinking primary wise,
that's the endorsement. You have the Hannity endorsement, right?
Well, it gets a little tricky. Remember when I talked about the Muslim Brotherhood Association of Al Sayed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hannity endorsed me, and then his producer got a little skittish because we were taking them on and asked for a retraction. So,
Hannity was gutless. I'm going to have to Twitter that one out.
Yeah, so that wasn't. Yeah, thanks.
Well, you heard it here, folks.
We do have the endorsement of Kamal Salim, Bob Lutz, automotive legend Bob Lutz, former chief economist of Comerica Bank, David Littman. Because I actually look at the expense side of the equation. We got the endorsement of Catherine Engelbrecht with True the Vote.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that I called for the investigation into voter fraud in the last election, where we identified 31 counts of voter fraud. And sure enough, the Attorney General hasn't prosecuted a single one of them, but he takes credit for protecting our vote. And so we've got the endorsements of folks like David Barton, who we're going to be out here tonight with. We've got the endorsement of, and this is still pending, we're going to have the final release to everybody, or formal release next week, but Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin, the founding member of the Delta Force, Green Beret, and the guy who Manuel Noriega actually surrendered to, he's endorsed my candidacy because he's actually dug into the truth of what's going on and the stands that I've made. and we're gonna work on Hannity and get him